Well, it's always exciting to be talking about LSU football, especially heading into this upcoming season where expectations will be high. Wide receiver Malik Nabers now entering his third year. Malik, thanks for being here.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
We're here in the office of Gordon McKernan here today, who Malik has an NIL deal with. So spring just wrapped up, right?
Right.
Spring game in Tiger Stadium, spring scrimmage. First off, was that the Angel Reese dance on the touchdown in the end zone there, or what was it?
It's a dance that we've seen around on TikTok a lot, but, she did it in the game, and me and Kyron was like, let's do it. Let's see what we can make fun of it. So Kyron came up with it, and I was like, yeah, we could really do that. And we switched it up just a little bit.
Yeah.
And that was, yeah.
Well, Angel is definitely soared into superstardom and
yeah.
the hot thing right now, so imitation is the highest form of flattery, right?
Yeah.
And you mentioned Kyron. I've only seen you guys a little bit lately, but it seems like every time I see you, I see Kyron. Y'all are kind of in this moving forward.
It's just me and him, always on the same page with just our work ethic, just going catch jugs, working with Jaden. So it'd be me, BT, and Kyron, but BT don't really be coming out the house like talking about it. So it's just me and Kyron, me and him just be, just going out, just having fun.
Yeah, we'll talk about Brian in a second here, but Kyron makes that outstanding one-handed catch to start off spring and goes the distance. I'm sure Matt House on the other end wanted to see some better tackling, but that was Kyron looks like he's ready to make an impact.
Yes, sir. Just him changing his attitude, becoming a leader, helping me guide those younger, new guys that came in, just being another role model to having the receiver room has been helpful.
Yeah, and because you lose Jeray Jenkins and Kayshawn Booty, those two guys combined for about 1,000 yards worth of receptions, and Jeray made a lot of big touchdown catches for you. So I know you got Shelton Sampson coming from Catholic, but there does seem to be, it's an area where some new guys, not new, but some people are going to have to elevate their game a little bit.
Right. So taking that into consideration, Kyle Parker, Jalen Brown, Landon, those young guys, they're going to need to, step up big, just to take a lot of ease off me, Kyron, and Brian. So those guys going to get a lot of, playing time. So just to help them get ready to play, it's just been helpful for them.
Landon Ibieta, he made that catch, the DB slipped, and it was over.
Yeah, he's pretty fast. He's been letting his speed, showcase. And
Brian Thomas doesn't say a whole lot. Sometimes I see his family, and they're like, why doesn't he ever do interviews? I say, well, he doesn't talk much, so maybe that'll change this year. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure y'all seen, we got him out of his little box, dancing at the end of the touchdown. So we getting him out of his little habitat right now.
Okay, well, good deal. You personally, how do you want to lead this year? You were the leading receiver last year, over 70 catches, over 1,000 yards, and really in that SEC championship game and then the Citrus Bowl against Purdue, we really saw how electric you could be.
So last year, I took a leading role with Kayshawn and Jerry, but I was more of the spark guy, I was just in the back, I want people to see how, when I make plays, that's the spark. So now it's changing into a vocal, more, leader, just, guiding, not even really, just like laying in the back, I can't, because I'm the first part of the group, I got to get people going. So just taking that role from last year into this year, it ain't been easy, but it's been something to work on.
Yeah, well, your versatility, right? You're a guy that works in traffic. You're obviously not afraid to get hit. Seems like a lot of those catches, there was always a lot of congestion around you and so forth.
Yeah, so it's just that maintaining, the same, fight that I had last year that kept me going through game after game after game. So just keeping that, and just keep going forward.
Yeah, and Mason Taylor there at tight end, he was injured, but obviously he's another big part of the receiving game.
Right, so having Mason Taylor, it's another, he's special. I've been seeing him do some terrific stuff in practice, as a freshman, going against, those older guys, it's something that you're not really afraid of, but you gotta showcase more of your talent to those guys more, because they're older. So if you can make a spark as a freshman like he did, it's only so longer that he can go.
Were you the guy in motion on the 2-point conversion against Alabama? Is that you, or were you on that play?
Yeah, it was me and Jere, I believe, on that play.
Okay.
So, and then it was Mason Taylor in motion, and we kind of set it for him to score. Yeah.
Yeah. I know some people out there like, how much are you ever going to talk about that? You know, beating Alabama. Yeah. We want that to become the norm and not make such a huge deal about it. But certainly that's a play that you'll remember for the rest of your life.
Right. So, because my freshman year, you know, before I came my freshman year was the 2020 year, and they had beat us, but the 2019 we had beat them. So, and then when my freshman year came in, they beat us, and it was from the last little bit of moments we had to do a Hail Mary to try to win. So, and with Alabama, it always come down to the last play. So, it was a special moment that I'll never forget.
Jaden Daniels, a year ago at this time, we didn't know a whole lot about him besides the fact he had started at Arizona State, right. And he was not the starter at this time. It was a competition going on. It's a lot different this time around, right? It's like he's kind of taken the bull by the horns to an extent. He's gotten bigger, stronger, and in the spring game, he just kind of went about his business like it was just a day at the office.
Right, so Jaden, I've seen a terrific change in his game, just with his training, and him just being another leader to have on the team, and him just, always getting the receivers up to, come throw, just he want to be around us more, taking a better role than just a starting quarterback. He wants to be around us more. We go out to eat a lot. We take the younger guys with us. Just try to do the extra instead of just being just a football player. Yeah,
because I guess a year ago at this time, he didn't know you guys,
right.
And y'all didn't know him. Now everyone's kind of comfortable, and maybe he's not as shy to take that role as the starter.
Yeah.
And, we were kind of debating it or not. I mean, I don't think it's ridiculous to think that if he continues to improve, he could be a Heisman Trophy candidate this year.
Yeah, so Jaden is another one of those players that you never know, what he's going to do. It's always, just his talent showcasing on the field. So it's a good another piece of our offense to have, because the defense, gotta play a different defense because he's able to run the ball, with his feet, and he's able to throw it to one of us. So it's going to create a lot of conflicts on defense this year, especially with me, Kyron, Brian, and Mason Taylor. And hopefully Josh Williams come back and he's healthy, and then we also have Noah Kane. So having those guys we're going to be a little unstoppable.
Yeah,
that's unstoppable offense.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like you can score your points, and just because we praise Jaden doesn't mean we can't praise Garrett Nussmeier also. I mean, the two of you did some special things in the SEC championship against Georgia. He was airing it out to you, and then in the Citrus Bowl against Purdue, when he came in, you guys moved the ball and scored as well.
Yeah, Nuss is like a little spark piece. He got his own little spark to him. It's fun always to watch him play, watch him throw the ball. He has a terrific arm, terrific accuracy. Can, roll out the pocket, throw it on the move, So it's just always fun just to lay back and just see what he does. It's something special every time he throws the ball.
Yeah. And Ricky Collins from Woodlawn, I think Coach Kelly described as trying to drink out of a fire hose, being a true freshman. And a guy was just playing high school ball in the fall, and now he's out there trying to do some things with you guys. But certainly he's a very talented young man as well.
Yeah, also just, throwing the ball with Ricky, we do a lot of, little things with Ricky, just like different routes with him. And he used to come through with us also before we even started spring. And it's something, it's a transition from being from high school and then jumping into college, and just going with the ones, just seeing from what high school was and then starting off to college, it's a big change. And I know, it creates, little butterflies in your stomach, because you're new. So you got to, go around it, find somebody to lean on, get some help guidance-wise. So it's been fun watching him throw the ball also.
Yeah, and you mentioned kind of the running back situation. Last year it was running back by committee. It worked, and it kind of looks like that's where it's heading again. We'll see what happens with John Emery, if he can come back or not. But certainly Noah Kane was complimented as perhaps being the most improved out of the group.
Yeah, so Noah Kane, well, right now Josh Williams has been out. I'm sure it was either like a meniscus injury or it was something in his knee, but Noah
He says he's going to
Kane.
be back June 1st. Sorry to interrupt you, but I think
Yeah.
Josh is coming back beginning of June.
Yeah, so Noah Kane has, just been another leader in the running back room. We getting Trey Holly. We had to make some few changes with John being out. So just those two has been going at it, just Trey Holly and Noah Kane.
Yeah, and your offensive line, right? You lost some of the kind of backups, so to speak, but the starters are all back. And when you start with Will Campbell and Emory Jones, that's a good place to start, huh?
Yeah, I don't think, our offensive line get as much credit as, any other players like, the specialist groups, DBs, linebackers. So just watching those guys, they're unstoppable. Like with Will Campbell coming in as a freshman playing, almost all the games, didn't have a nick, didn't play different positions, was able to come in and make a big impact. Emory Jones, another freshman that came in. I think he played 12 games. Played on special teams. Did his thing and then
made a tackle.
Made a tackle, earned his spot on the offensive line. Charles Turner. I seen him when I was a freshman. He was in the second, third group, I believe, and then he got hurt, and then he came back. Was just a different person, different dog. Dellinger, played his freshman year, did a lot of good things for us my freshman year. Continued to do that my sophomore year. Miles Frazier played different positions, came in from the portal, made a huge impact, changed his body with the nutrition. He was always, at the top of the nutrition board, played every game, played different positions for us. So having those guys back and on the line of scrimmage, I'm sure, it's the brotherhood they have. So, and Coach Davis has been doing a great job with those guys. So, and it's only up forward for them.
Yeah, and some of the guys that are waiting too. Like I saw Bordelon the other day.
Yeah.
I shook his hand and he about broke my arm. I mean,
Man,
he's got some
huge hands. He got some huge hands.
Yeah, Charles Turner said we all agree he's got the strongest handshake maybe on the team. Your position, Coach Hankton, how is he bringing out the best of you guys?
He pushes our group, I believe, because he believes we can be something special. We got a room that he believes that nobody in the country could be able to keep up with. So he pushes me to be a leader more and to lean on me more and Kyron and BT to push those younger guys to create, urgency and create another receiver culture. We got to leave. When we leave, it reflects on the younger guys, what they're going to do to the other young guys that's coming in. So how we react and how we practice is how they're going to practice and how the next group after them is going to come here and practice.
And catching the ball and scoring touchdowns and doing the graceful, beautiful stuff, that's what makes the highlights, right?
Yeah.
But going all the way back to like the Devery Hendersons and Michael Claytons of the world that could lay out defensive backs with their blocking, that's a big part of what you guys do also.
Right. So, he's been on us pretty tough about the blocking, but it's a part of football. When we block, if it spits out, we can create another down and distance for us to get the ball. So if we don't block, it becomes a 2nd and 8 to another 3rd and 4, and now we, in 3rd and 4, we're able to punt the ball instead of us blocking down the field. We get another first down and able to, move the chains.
And starting at the top, Brian Kelly, your head coach. So a year ago at this time, you guys were still kind of learning him. What's this new guy all about?
Right.
You saw the success this year, right? You saw how much you improved from 2021 through 2022. What's the feeling about Coach Kelly now and the path he has you on?
Coach Kelly's path is just us, focus on the process, not the outcomes. If we win games, we win games. But, if we lose them, we lose them. But if we can focus on just our process, then the wins going to come. We don't focus on, all the, the other outside things. We're focused on just in our building. So, when he came in, he was, vocal about that, sticking to the process. And we just never left. And we dug in and believed what he was talking about. And we had a successful season.
I know in baseball they talk about we don't accept in victory what we wouldn't in defeat.
Right.
Meaning if we win a game and we were sloppy, there's some things that we're going to correct and get on the guys about, right? So it's that process you talk about.
Right. Yes, sir, all the time.
And the expectations are going to be much different this year.
Right.
A year ago you were unranked going into the Florida State game. They were unranked too. This year, you're both expected to be in the top 10. Yeah. That's quite a game to kick off the year in a few months down the road.
Yeah, so looking back onto that game, you know, just from us not being ranked, them not being ranked, you know, we made it out of nothing. So, you know, coming back again in the next year, you know, it's going to be like a revenge game. You know, we lost that one. We're hoping to get that one back. So, you know, it's just something to move on into the future, you know, hope for the best.
Yeah, and you've had a lot of diversity on the field, right? I mean, your senior year, you couldn't play, right? In the Lafayette area, you went to Southside High School from Como. And then your first year at LSU, there's a coaching change in the middle of the year, or at least it's announced Coach O's not going to be back for the next year. Right. You played in that Texas Bowl. You won the few and the proud at the Texas Bowl, right? You caught a touchdown from John Trey Kirkland. And then last year, you know, the Florida State game, you had the struggles on the special teams, but you put that behind you and had a huge year. What have you learned about kind of, you know, picking yourself up and moving forward?
You know, just it's adversity. You know, you go through it all the time in sports. You know, you see people go through different adversity, and you know, you see them come out, you know, shining bright. You know, still, you know, doing what they love to do. So it was just something to watch and just something to have on my shoulder. You know, I have a chip on my shoulder that just never gave up. So my senior year, that, you know, with me having that, you know, it set a little setback for me. You know, a lot of coaches just stopped talking to me. Didn't know if I was gonna be the same. You know, but Coach Carter and you know, a couple other schools were still interested in me, and I decided, you know, to come here. And then, you know, that happened my freshman year. But it was just all about, you know, showcasing my talent. If you're somewhere and you know you have a good unique talent, you know, it's always good to showcase that, and then eyes will be turned to you.
So the NFL draft, as we're sitting here, is coming up. Right. So a year from now, perhaps, you would like to be, you know, a guy they're talking about.
Of course.
You know, so what kind of year are you looking to have this year? What are the things that you want to fine tune and improve entering 2023?
I say consistency. You know, I gotta show, you know, consistent through every game that I play this year. You know, nutrition-wise, keeping my body, you know, right, keeping my, you know, my frame nice and shape, because, you know, with nicks and bruises, you know, it stops me from able to play games. So just staying healthy, that's what I'm really focused on.
What's it like to play in Tiger Stadium?
I mean, first off, when you come out the tunnel, you know, I'm always the last one, you know, because I got to get my thoughts together before I come out. So I'm always, you know, the last one, just, you know, talking to myself, keeping my breathing right. But when you run out, it's like, you see the fireworks, you know, you see the crowd pumped up. You go to the end of the end zone, you pray, you know, you take it up with your brothers. You know, as a receiver group, we talk, we pray before we do it. And then when that first kickoff go, and then, but it's nothing like when you score or you make a big play and like it goes louder, or like when you catch like a little slant and, you know, you break a couple tackles, it go from like, oh, and then it just screams out when you know, get the touchdown. That's a different experience.
So you can hear it.
Yeah.
I've talked to several players and they're like, I don't hear anything, or I black out or whatever.
Yeah, I hear it for sure. It's loud.
Kicks your speed up a little higher.
Yeah, and then the Tiger Walk is just, to me, is the best part.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So next time when we get shots of the team running out of the tunnel, we need to wait. You're the last one.
Yeah.
They go out there.
Yeah, I'm the last one.
There you go. What did I think I talked to you about this the other day, but real quick, the women's basketball team and what they did this year, winning that national title and everything. Right. Does that inspire everyone? And do you feel like guys respect the women more than they used to, say, years back?
I feel like we just show more. We get more in tune to it now. You know, just seeing those girls, you know, go out there, show a chip on their shoulder that they have. You know, just, and then they came from, you know, they was transfers. They came from their schools. You know, Kim Walkie came last year. You know, her second year. You know, they didn't know they was gonna leave. They didn't know they was gonna do that. So it's just their whole group buying in, just like us from last year. You know, us buying into what Coach Kelly was saying and had a successful season. So it's them just also buying in and staying down, and then, you know, staying out the way and just continue to work hard. And then they came out with a national championship. So it's something that, you know, we look at as a football team, not necessarily as the same thing, but, you know, as the same process.
Yeah, I think one of the coaches on campus said, winning leaves clues.
Right.
Like, what can we learn
Right.
from other teams? And last thing, so just being on the LSU campus, right, there's so many special people like gymnastics. You got Haley Bryant, who has perfect 10s, and baseball, you got guys like Dylan Cruz, who might be the best that ever played at LSU, and Trey Morgan, and then, you know, obviously with the women with Angel and Flage, who's making an impact on the court and in the pop world as well, right?
Yeah.
You ever listen to Flage's music?
I listened to the new one that she had with Gordon. That's going on, I think, a commercial, I believe.
Oh, okay. We're breaking some news here. Flage's going to rap in a Gordon commercial.
I don't want to make
Big
it too,
folk.
you know. I don't want to make it too abrupt. But I think that's what they're going to do.
Yeah. So just all those people on campus, you guys kind of all encourage one another, and you're fans of each other and what you do?
Yeah, of course, you know, every time, you know, we see each other, you know, around campus or out, you know, we always talk to each other, and we don't just pass each other up, you know, like we just, even though if I might not know that person, I might not know, they might not know me, you know, we always, you know, we know each other, you know, we play sports around here, you know, we get talked about a lot in the media, so it's hard to not, you know, show your respect for a player.
Malik, thanks for your time. We're
Thank
excited
you.
about the year.
Yes,
Looking
sir.
forward to seeing the Tigers on the field. And it'll be here before you know it. LSU versus Florida State in Orlando. Thanks for stopping by and checking this out.